What's good, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Reese, aka the Sideliner, and today we're covering a topic that not too many people are discussing, and that's the buyout market. Now, first things first, I just want to appreciate all the support that I've been getting over on the channel over the past week or so. This NBA content is new to me, but it's something I've been wanting to do for a while now, so I'm glad to see it's being received well, and I can only thank you guys. It's only up from here. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications so you know when I'm uploading my next banger. So to get it kicked off for us today, we're going to start off talking about Will Barton. Barton is a veteran wing. He still has decent athleticism. He's a prototypical 3-and-D type of guy. He can run the 1 through 3 at times. He is having his worst statistical season since 2014-2015 season in Portland. His points are cut in half from his previous stint in Denver, dropping from nearly 15 points down to 7. He's had a diminished role in Washington so far this year. He's averaged less than 20 minutes a game after starting all 71 games that he played in last year for Denver. So this isn't the Will Barton we're accustomed to seeing, but we know what he's capable of. So any playoff team, any competing team out there that needs a knockdown and defending wing, Will Barton is your guy. He can provide any team with a legit scoring threat off the bench, and he's also going to knock down his shot. So Will Barton is a guy to look out for on the buyout market. Next up, we're going with Patrick Bevereley. He was recently traded to Orlando from the Los Angeles Lakers and then waived by Orlando. So he's just sitting there waiting for a job at the moment. He's a guy whose stat sheet does not show his worth or his impact on the court. In his 45 games in LA this season, which he started every one, he only averaged 6 points. He was shooting 35% from 3 and 40% from the field, but his defensive presence alone is second to none. His ability to get under his opponent's skin, that's what teams really look for in the Patrick Bevereley. So he's a guy you love to have in your locker room, but you hate to go against just for the simple fact that he's a true menace and black forces on the court. In my opinion, Bevereley is a guy that would thrive in a Memphis Grizzlies or a Miami Heat type of system where he can go out there and play his gritty, unapologetically aggressive defense, and the team could just follow suit right behind him. I know Patrick Bevereley is not the guy that stands out on the court as like a vocal leader, but he's similar to Draymond Green, where their IQ of the game overstates what they do on the court. Patrick Bevereley is a very smart player. He knows defenses. He can read offenses as well. So Patrick Bevereley is a guy that any team should be going after. You gotta remember, he's coming off a season where he was just in Minnesota as one of the key pieces in a very critical piece in a Minnesota Timberwolves playoff run. Although we like to meme him for jumping up on the table and celebrating for just that one playoff series win, Patrick Bevereley was a very key role in that playoff series. And for any team out there that's competing, whether it be an Eastern Conference team or a Western Conference team, Patrick Bevereley is a guy that you need on your team. The next guy on this list is Dwayne Dedmon. He was traded from Miami to San Antonio, then waived by San Antonio and bought out by the Philadelphia 76ers. This is an under-the-radar signing for Philly. He's another 7-footer that can provide rebounding and rim protection alongside Joel Embiid and Jalen McDaniels. He only played 30 games thus far in less than 12 minutes a game. You should see a similar role moving forward for Dwayne this season, seeing how they just got Jalen McDaniels to go alongside Joel. But this was strictly, in my opinion, a signing to help in the playoffs against those teams like the Bucks, who run multiple 7-footer lineups with Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So for Philly, that was a very wise pickup. Danny Green, a player that a lot of people probably just forgot about. He was sitting on Memphis's bench for a while this season, but Danny Green was traded from Memphis to Houston, waived from Houston, and bought out by the Cleveland Cavaliers. This season was the season where players are returning to where their career all started, returning home, so to speak. Danny Green going back home to Cleveland, where he was drafted. A 3-time NBA champion that can be very lethal from downtown, a career 40% three-point shooter. He's a very key rotational piece for a championship-level roster such as the Cavaliers, who have been in the upper echelon of the standings, the Eastern Conference standings so far this season. Green is a very seasoned player. He's on a 11-season streak of making the postseason, so this is a great addition for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's proven his worth around the arc, as we know. The past couple seasons, he's been memed and all the whatever was going on with Danny Green on Twitter. But Danny Green is a solid shooter. He's not the same defender he once was, but he still get out there and try and take that defensive assignment when need be. He's a true professional, a guy that you really want in your locker room, teaching these young guys about the game and just life in general. Serge Ibaka, traded from the Milwaukee Bucks to the Indiana Pacers, was recently waived. And the Congo-born NBA champion has drawn attention from none other than the Miami Heat. I feel like the Heat have links to everybody. They're always in talks with signing a player, trading for a player. But the pairing of Ibaka and Adebayo is definitely something that is enticing for an NBA fan, especially a Miami Heat fan. When you talk about the defense, the stretchability, those two guys down there in your front court would be definitely something that would be exciting for the fans. Ibaka would fix the biggest hole in the Miami Heat's team, which is a solid power forward, or just a power forward in general. Although he's not a true scoring threat like he once was early on in his career, averaging over 15 points a game, Ibaka can still stretch the floor for you. Let Bam Adebayo, let Jimmy Butler get their mid-ranges off. He's a career 36% shooter from deep, so the defense definitely has to respect his shot. Whether he's a streaky shooter or whether he's consistent with it or not, you still have to respect the Serge Ibaka open three-point shot. When it comes to the playoffs, Ibaka can do it all. He can go and get you 10 points, 20 points. He can get you a 10-rebound game. He can get you a 15-rebound game. He's going to get a few blocks here and there. He's going to lock in on defense. He's going to knock down his three-point shots. Serge Ibaka for the Miami Heat makes them a very, very scary team. Now, as I spoke on back in my previous video, Reggie Jackson was traded from the Los Angeles Clippers, which was a bit of a surprise, especially the team that they moved him to, the Charlotte Hornets. But we all knew he would eventually be bought out, and he was bought out a couple days ago by the Denver Nuggets. The #1 team in the West just got deeper by adding a player of Reggie Jackson's caliber. He replaces Bones Highland as the off-the-bench spark plug for the Denver Nuggets. He's a proven veteran that we've seen able over stretches of time to carry a team on his own, whether it was back in the LA Clippers uniform or back in Detroit days. Reggie Jackson is a guy that can go out there and carry a team to a playoff berth. No games where Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., or even a Jokic is struggling. Jackson has the poise to come in the game and just provide scoring for the team, help calm the storm for a Mike Malone, help take that pressure off of his shoulders. Although his scoring is down a few points from last year due to Kawhi and Paul George's return in LA. His percentages across the board has increased completely. Most noticeably, his free throw percentage going up from 85% to a 92%. That is a very, very great improvement for Reggie Jackson, and something that the Denver Nuggets are going to need down the stretch if a Jamal Murray gets in foul trouble, or you just need that production off the bench. Reggie Jackson is that guy for the Denver Nuggets, and a very good pickup and something that I can't wait to see in action. Sticking on the Denver Nuggets, there's another player that could possibly be bought out, and that's DeAndre Jordan, another big body that can still rebound the ball and send shots away at the rim. Although he is on the back end of his career, he is still a solid lob threat for any team. He's still a very efficient player, averaging 77% from the field, although majority of those are lobs or putbacks or just 2-foot hook shots or whatever. DeAndre Jordan is a very good pickup for any team trying to compete. There's potential DeAndre Jordan could remain with the team for the rest of the season, but that's possibly unlikely due to the pickup of Thomas Bryant, unless they just want to keep safe him for playoff time. If Bryant gets in foul trouble or Jokic is tired or hurt or whatever, knock on wood. But DeAndre Jordan is a solid pickup in the buyout market if you are needing a guy to rebound you the ball and deter shots at the rim. Next guy on this list is an absolute fan favorite, Derrick Rose for the New York Knicks. There hasn't been much talk of him in the buyout, of being bought out by the Knicks or waived by the Knicks so he can go to his next team. But Derrick Rose, we know who Derrick Rose is. A former MVP player who still has a lot left in his tank. Ever since he left Chicago, the fans, his peers have wanted to see him in a winning situation. And although New York is a solid team, they're going to make the playoffs again this year. They're not really a team that you can say is going to win a championship, and that's all we really want to see as fans for Derrick Rose, for him to win a championship. At least me personally. He spoke on his future moving forward with New York, and he said he is content with staying there. It doesn't bother him. He's just there to. He's going to be a professional. He's going to play the game the way he's always played it. But as a Derrick Rose fan, you just can't help but feel to want him in a more prominent role, contributing on a much stabler team. The 34-year-old Rose is having a lackluster season, he's averaging less than 15 minutes a game, 6 points on that in that time, but he is averaging over 90% from the free throw line. That's something that not even MVP prime Rose could do, so that is something that he's been working on and getting better at over the years. But when playoff time comes, we know what Derrick Rose can do. We know who D Rose is. We know how he gets down. Any GM would be out of their mind not to sign Derrick Rose if he was sitting on that buyout market. If he stays in New York, he stays in New York. Best of luck to him. But like I said, as a Derrick Rose fan, we can't help but want him in a more prominent role and see him out there flourishing. Next up, Dario Saric on this list from the Phoenix Suns. He got traded to the OKC Thunder. Potential that he could be bought out. A former lottery pick that showed promise early on in his career, but now is on the OKC Thunder, his third team. No, this may be his fourth team, I think. He does fit the mold of a Thunder forward, a tall, lengthy guy that can stretch the floor as well as knock down his free throws at a decent clip. A common theme of this video, Sarge is having a career low in points. His second year in a row averaging less than 10 points a game, but he's still trying to find his footing in the league after fighting a couple nagging injuries. He's not the sexiest name on the market, but definitely a guy that you want on your team to contribute to winning basketball in the right situation. He's a solid rebounder for his size. He can light it up from deep if he gets hot. Dario Saric is not the strongest guy in the post, but I've seen him get busy down there from time to time. Like I said, he's shooting his free throws pretty consistent, so Dario Saric would be a great addition to any competing team. Now, a name you've probably been waiting on to hear about, John Wall. From the Los Angeles Clippers. He was traded back to Houston after going on a podcast and saying what he said about Houston. They almost waived him immediately, got him up out of there, but we're still waiting to see him where he's going to go, get picked up potentially. He still has sneaky explosiveness when attacking the rim, still one of the fastest players in the league, even at his older age after the injuries. John Wall was very solid for the Clippers this season after not playing basketball on and off not playing basketball for the past 2 to 3 seasons. In just 34 games with Los Angeles, he averaged 11.5 points with 5 assists in just 22 minutes. That's not the John Wall we're really accustomed to seeing, but like I just said, he's played basketball on and off for the past 3 seasons, so he's still trying to find his footing and get back right. Also, he's playing alongside Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who also need to get theirs. Reggie Jackson was getting his, so the points we assumed that he would average about 15 points. He's at that nearly 12 points, so it was nearly there, but this isn't the John Wall we're accustomed to seeing, but we know what he can do. He's a player that can start. He can come off your bench. It doesn't matter. He can add a scoring punch. He's a facilitator. He's a defensive monster in the passing lanes. John Wall is a playoff player. We've seen it. Although he doesn't have very many playoff wins under his belt, John Wall is a guy that gets his in the playoffs. Like I said, although he's on the back end of his career, he's a very valuable guard that's still awaiting his next opportunity, and hopefully he gets picked up sooner than later. Then last but not least, the guy that we have all been wanting to hear about, see where the hell he's gonna go, Russell Westbrook. He's the biggest name on the buyout market to date. A recently disrespected all-time great point guard for our game, Mr. Triple-Double. Westbrook is still a top 15 point guard in this league at this very moment, even in his diminished role the past couple seasons in LA, especially this year where he was a sixth man, two-time scoring champion, MVP, 9-time All-NBA, 9-time All-Star. You telling me he's a sixth man to Patrick Bevereley? I don't know about that. Anyway, it was a disgustingly diminished role out in LA. Anybody would tell you that. You could see, even though he was smiling, he was getting his off the bench. Russell Westbrook was not happy to be a Los Angeles Laker this year. He showed us why he still deserves to be a starter. Like I said, he's still a top 15 point guard in this league to this day. Aside from his rookie season, Russell Westbrook never came off the bench. He started every single NBA game that he played in up until this season for Patrick Bevereley. That's not a slight to Bev whatsoever. I like Patrick Bevereley as a player. I respect him even more as a person. But when it comes to basketball, Russell Westbrook by far surpasses the talent of Patrick Bevereley. How is the all-time leader in triple doubles? I mean, it's not really a stat that's should be glorified, so to speak, but the all-time leader in triple doubles is coming off the bench and still getting triple doubles. He should be a starter. Get this man on the team to where he can be a starter, contributing to great winning basketball once again, like we know Russell Westbrook can do. Like I said before, I'm an avid Russ fan, bro. So to see this, what transpired out in LA, man, that really hurt me. That really hurt me as a fan, bro. So I can't wait to see him in his next opportunity. I heard talks, like I said, Miami be connected to everybody. So Miami Heat are connected to him. The Chicago Bulls are connected to Russell Westbrook. Two Eastern Conference playoff teams that are trying to find a point guard ever since Lonzo Ball went down for the Chicago Bulls, and then Patrick Lowry. Kyle Lowry has not looked well for the Miami Heat in the past couple seasons. I know he had that injury, and he's, 34, 35 years old. So Russell Westbrook, adding him to a Miami Heat culture, that's exactly what Russ needs. He's a Miami Heat guy. Of course, Paul George, rooting for his guy. He's been adamant about getting him out in LA, or we're keeping him in LA, but the other locker room with the Clippers. Westbrook is a playoff player through and through, bro. Like, no question about it. Whatever team is fortunate enough to sign Russell Westbrook, you won the buyout market. Russell Westbrook is that guy. He will come in and make your team that much better immediately. In my opinion, you add Russell Westbrook, your chances to the finals go from here to here. Maybe not winning it, but making it. Russell Westbrook is that kind of guy. Whether you want to start him or whether you want him to come off the bench. Like I said, Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls, and the Los Angeles Clippers. Two of those teams are in position to where they can make it. The Clippers and the Heat. The Bulls still have some work to do. But if you add him to a Los Angeles Clippers team alongside a Paul George, who he's played with before, Kawhi Leonard, you got those knockdown shooters out there that Russ loves kicking the ball to. He's essentially going to replace John Wall's production, but just to a much higher degree. Russell Westbrook should be on a competing team. Now, Utah is doing their due diligence by Russ and letting him take his time to decide where he wants to go before they just wave him off. And I really love that by the Utah Jazz. They're showing us that they're an organization that we can be fans of, even if we're not fans of them. So I appreciate that from Utah. I know Russ does as well. And man, I just hope the best for Russell Westbrook, bro. But I know I'm just rambling on at this point, man. I know y'all ready to get out of here. Like I said, if you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit the post notifications bell so you know when I'm posting the next banger. Drop a like, comment, just let me know what y'all want to see next. Let me know what I missed. Give me feedback. I really appreciate that, man. But it's your boy Reese, aka the Sideliner. We out.